Big Texas round of applause for grand entry.
West Texas is a place where echoes of the Old West still linger.
Let's ride!
Where traditions dating back to Wild West roundups are still alive, with plenty of bumps and bruises to prove it. But while some traditions survive, others have faded away, vanishing along with the gunslingers and saloons. And today, another cherished piece of cowboy life is threatened with extinction. The cattle brand, etched in history like the signatures of the pioneers who settled the American frontier.
These walls represent years and years of history in the cattle business.
Mm-hmm.
Some very notable brands. You got the 4.6s right above you.
There's the 4.6s. Mm-hmm. And over there?
And the Running W for the King Ranch in Clayburgh County.
At the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association in Fort Worth, Larry Gray is the top cop for monitoring more than 110,000 registered brands just in Texas. He is proud of these symbols. The Lazy J, the Circle L, the Horned B, some as old as Texas.
The King Ranch was established in 1840. 4.6s, very old ranch, established in the 1800s as well.
Still in use.
Still in use. They're still branding their cattle with those brands.
Someday that'll all be covered with good beef.
John Wayne was like any Texas cattle baron in the movie Red River, planning his brand even before he had his first head of cattle.
There'll be two lines, like this, like the banks of a river.
And while the Red River brand was the stuff of fiction, the Flying S brand is both real and personal.
Absolutely, it's a point of pride, and it's also a sign of quality on our cattle.
When Mitch Siegel bought his ranch about a decade ago, after a successful real estate career in California, he remembered seagulls from those California days.
That brand was designed to resemble two seagulls flying. So it's one seagull on top of the other flying. If you were to look up in the sky and see birds flying, they kind of resemble that.
And that's your name. That's the point of the brand. It's very personal. But now there's something coming down the pike that could make branding obsolete. Ear tags. Each tag contains an ID number that is registered and kept on file in a computerized database. The tags enable ranchers to store information about an animal's history and care pretty much from birth, which helps with quality control, something Mitch Siegel is all in favor of.
It is our reputation. We work real hard at that.
Because the information on every animal is so accessible, some states and the federal government are moving towards requiring ear tag IDs on all cattle that are traded, sold, or moved between states. That's a development, some say, that could render the old-fashioned identification system of branding irrelevant. Out on the range, when Pete Bonds brands his calves, it's a throwback to the Old West, and that's a tradition he loves. To those who argue that branding is inhumane, Pete's answer is, do it carefully and do it right.
Well, I've been doing this ever since I was 10 years old, so that's about 50 years. And the main thing is just get it on there, get it off quick, just where you inflict the least amount of pain possible.
He uses ear tags because the precise record keeping is good for business, but he is determined that his Texas cattle will always bear a brand on their backside.
It is still the only permanent form of ID. That ear tag can be lost or cut out. A lot of them are family brands.
Larry Gray agrees that another piece of Old West romance would be lost if branding disappears. So would vital evidence his 29 Special Texas Rangers used to recover the $4 to $5 million in cattle still rustled every year. If an animal is stolen, how does the brand help you figure that out?
That brand helps us figure out who the rightful owner of that animal is.
Technology has its place here. Cowboys and cell phones now ride the range together. And while Mitch Siegel keeps electronic tabs on his herd because it makes financial sense, he also wants brands to stay for reasons a bit more sentimental.
I want our brand to be in existence 100 years from now.
Why? Why the brand?
So somebody will know we were here, so that I have something to show the world when I'm gone and the cattle are gone and
The ranch is still here.
The ranch is still here. The brand will carry on, and so that's pretty meaningful to me.
It'll still be the Flying S.
Regardless of who my daughter marries or what, it'll be the Flying S brand, and it'll live on into perpetuity.
It's a pride that, like the brands themselves, goes generations deep into the heart of Texas.